Welcome to Art+Object's final catalogue of 2011, and before James Parkinson and myself talk about some of the fascinating artworks and collectibles in this catalogue, I just would like to thank all of our clients, colleagues and friends on behalf of the directors and staff of Art+Object for all of their support this year. We've really enjoyed seeing you so regularly here at Art+Object, and we look forward to seeing you again in 2012. But we're going to ask you to attend one final date here at ANO. That's next week on December the 7th and 8th. We have two final auctions of the year. We have the New Collector's Art, and I'm going to talk about some of the interesting pieces in just a second in the New Collector's Catalogue. That goes to auction on the evening 6:30, the 7th of December, and then final auction of the year takes place on December the 8th, and that is the Decorative Arts and Modern Design, and James is going to talk about some of the really fascinating pieces. Wonderful, strong section of New Zealand design and ceramics in this catalogue, probably the best we've ever offered, and I know James has really enjoyed putting it together and is going to take you through some of his favourites. One of the most interesting figures in New Zealand art history of recent years is Guy Ngan. I'm holding here a sculpture by Guy Ngan, and behind me is this absolutely fabulous screen print from Guy Ngan called Animated Colours. Guy Ngan is a figure whose work spans architecture, design, art making and sculpture. And this is really a superb piece. I'm holding it here, cast bronze, immaculately presented, a wonderful modernist piece. Many New Zealanders will have encountered Guy Ngan's work in the form of some of those wonderful relief sculptures in post offices and public buildings, an area that he specialised in the 1960s and 70s. There are a number of works by Dick Frizzell in this current New Collector's Catalogue, and I think one of the things that's fascinating about the selection is the wide diversity of visual styles. Now, this is, I think, a unique characteristic of Frizzell's work, his ability to operate across near illustration through to fine art painting and everything in between. A real strain of Frizzell's work is, shall we say, riffing or humorous interventions and relationships to some of the high modernist ideals. So here we have two works side by side. This one's called Old School, and that is most obviously a harking back to the early days of modernism, Henry Moore, Picasso-like forms there. And then this one here is called Léger Domaine, which of course is a reference to the great French proto-cubist painter Léger. Here we see another side of Dick Frizzell, the fun-loving side. Of course, this is the pop Dick Frizzell, referencing, of course, the Phantom, the ghost who walks, the man who cannot die. There he is, in a clinch with Diana Parker, his long-suffering fiancée. The title of this work is Big Kiss, and it is part of Frizzell's fascination with the Phantom.
The Modern Design Sale and Decorative Arts component of this auction is the largest offering we've done. In fact, it's a superb offering of over 500 lots. This sale offers almost a reference collection of New Zealand design and furniture from the mid-century. So we have pieces by John Crichton, by Rakima, and a number of pieces from the John Jansen store. Just going to pick on a couple of those pieces. First of all, we have this very, very good Rakima dining suite. Now we see Rakima chairs and what have you now and again coming up for sale, but we rarely see full Bob Rakima designed dining suite. And this is a complete dining suite, table and 6 chairs. And then right beside that we have a Rakima wingback chair. We have actually offered, this will be number 4, the fourth of these chairs that we've offered. Despite that though, they're very, very rare. This is probably the best of all of those that we've offered in that it has its original upholstery. So the owner of this chair purchased it new from John Jansen in the mid-50s and has owned it since then. One of the most important lots in the sale is this very rare suite of Ernst Plischke furniture. So we have the 2 chairs and the matching table. Now Ernst Plischke was the modernist architect and furniture designer, but you rarely ever see his furniture coming to auction. We have sold in the past a number of his light fittings, but I have not ever offered a complete suite of furniture. So here we have the 2 matching chairs and the table, all made out of New Zealand pine. This is a really important suite of furniture. chairs that are similar, referenced through a number of the Pliska publications. So this sale also has a very good offering of mid-century furniture, following on from the Ross Morrison collection that we had a couple of months ago. Now in particular we have some very, very good pieces of Morganson furniture in this sale. And this is a piece worth focusing on. It just relies on its simplicity and cleanness of design. But along with that, you've got some lovely detailed work, and particularly you can see through these handles here, just the beautiful detailing and finishing in the handles. This really is a superb piece of mid-century furniture.
In the history of New Zealand modernism, Theo Schoon occupies a central role. He was very much the prototype of the cross-cultural multimedia artist. He was a photographer, a painter, a carver, and operated across all of these disciplines literally simultaneously. This is a classic example of Schoon's central concern to locate and create relationships between Polynesian image making and modernist practice. And his work was of course extremely influential on later practitioners such as Gordon Walters. The title of this exquisitely presented screen print from 1971 is Maori Motif. And it is very much emblematic of Schoon's practice, in which we see the Maori kawhawhai pattern there, swirling through the screen print in a design and a schema that is at variance to traditional Maori image making and leads towards modernist image production, but at the same time is hugely recognisable, of course, to New Zealand eyes.
Hamish has just spoken about the screen print, and here we have, by Theo Schoon, and here we have a ceramic dish by Theo Schoon. And this is from the collection of Steve Rumsey. Steve Rumsey was a photographer, potter and pottery archivist, and his collection, or part of his collection, has been consigned to the sale, comprising over 50 or so pieces, many pieces of Ngan Castle, but the pick of the pieces is undoubtedly this Theo Schoon dish. Although the dish is not just Theo's work, it represents a collaborative between Theo Schoon, Ngan Castle and Rumsey himself. It was done at the end of Theo Schoon's life, and it is on a Ngan Castle blank. It was stamped and pressed by Theo Schoon when he was living in a rest home toward the end of his life, and then it was fired in Steve Rumsey's kiln, and it has this lovely impressed stamp on the back from Steve Rumsey and Theo Schoon's initials. It's one of only 4 of these dishes known, so it's very, very rare. One of the other ones is held in the Te Papa collection, so a very, very nice thing to be offering in the sale. So moving from the Theo Schoon, Ngan Castle and Rumsey collaborative dish, we move to a piece that was made toward the end of Ngan Castle's career. This is one of these absolutely superb sulphurous bowls. Now these were made toward the very end of his career. A group were made in 2010 and 2011. In fact, the 2011 group of sulphurous bowls sold out at a recent exhibition within 2 minutes. So we are very privileged to offer this bowl from 2010 in the auction. So one of the things we're offering in the sale is the John Pettit collection. John Pettit was a big collector of mid-century furniture and design, and in particular he collected Italian and modernist glass. And so there's a large offering of glass from the mid-century in the sale, and also some very good glass from Keith Murray. Now Keith Murray is of course better known for his work in ceramics, but of course he also made glass, this being a very good example, a vase that was made for Royal Briley. Moving on from that, we move to, I guess, one of the feature lots in the sale, and we're very privileged to be offering this unique Persian pear by the renowned American glass artist Dale Chihuly. They really are a superb example of his glass-blowing work. His work is represented in more than 200 museum collections around the world. Nice to see these being offered on the New Zealand auction market. And to round the sale out, we have a couple of hundred lots of toys and retro ceramics and retro furniture. So the last 200 lots or so of the sale are pretty much no reserve. I think worth coming along just to see those pieces. And if you're looking for unusual Christmas gifts, this is a good place to find some things.